Hey everybody. All right, so let me tilt it this way so you guys can see me. So this is one of those impromptu lives. And happy Sunday, by the way. So this live is all about why your hair is not growing and the things you can do to fix that problem. So I'm only going to give you 10 reasons in this live. Um, And these are the 10 things that I see the most, especially from clients who come into the salon, people who reach out to me, people who send me situations before they order my products because they want to know what to use, that kind of thing. So this is kind of like 10 of the most common reasons. This is not all of the reasons, but this is the 10 most common. Okay. All right. So reason number one, which this is kind of like people put this in like the category of myths. So, reason number one, dirty hair. I know by me saying dirty hair, you're probably like, but I thought they said that dirty hair is the best hair to grow your hair, right? That's the best way. Your hair grows when it's dirty. That's a myth, okay? Dirty hair is one of those things that also stunts growth. And when I say that, that means that you're not keeping a regular regimen. You are shampooing your hair once every 9 weeks. You have protective styles in for months at a time. And then when you take it out, you give it one quick wash, a condition, and you go. That's dirty hair. Dirty hair is also things as co-washing instead of actually having a wash day. That will give you dirty hair. And that's one of those things that I talked about the other day when someone asked me, is co-washing good? Co-washing is okay. But when you put co-washing in place of actually a actual wash day, co-washing is nasty. Okay? No disrespect. Co-washing typically is, I'll give you the scenario. Co-washing is like bathing yourself with lotion, but you never have an actual bath. If you continue to bathe yourself in just lotion, what part of you has cleaned the body? It's the same thing for co-washing. Co-washing is basically shampooing the hair with conditioner. What part of you have cleaned that hair? So dirty hair is number one. It's kind of one of the crazier reasons, but it is one of the reasons why typically the hair will stop growing. Now, that comes with hygiene, people. So I'm not going to give you a whole scenario on hygiene. Just wash your hair. Let's just wash it thoroughly with good products. Number two, reason number two, excessive heat. Okay, excessive heat is one of those areas where typically we all know this, that there's a such thing as heat damage. Some people kind of over exaggerate that word, but excessive heat meaning you flat iron your hair every single day. You blow dry your hair every single day. Those who wash their hair more than one time a week, which you really shouldn't even be doing that, especially if you have my hair type. Those kind of people where you're constantly using some type of thermal tool on the hair. That eventually will stunt the growth. How does it stunt the growth? Hey, Cassandra, how does it stunt the growth? Basically, it creates an environment of splitting, dryness. Um, it really can, you can almost burn your hair off. I've seen that happen before. That is heat damage. Number one, that stunts growth. Okay, so those were two reasons so far: dirty hair, excessive heat. I'm going to give you solutions to a lot of the stuff towards the end, so you guys just be a little patient. Reason number three, your dry hair, dry scalp. You have some people who are totally against utilizing any type of oil on the scalp or serum on the hair. If the scalp is dry, that means the bulb is dry. That means the bulb has no nutrients and it is not bringing those nutrients to the actual follicle. So, dry hair, dry scalp. Literally, dry scalp means dry hair. So, when people come and say, man, my hair always feels so dry, that probably means that you're not oiling your scalp because we're afraid to. Or you heard these myths that you shouldn't put oil on the scalp. And Ray Tay Tay, there's nothing wrong with putting oil on the scalp, guys. There's nothing wrong with it. Now, what type of oil you use and how much oil you use is the determining factor of that particular point. But having a dry scalp is not helping your growth. It is not helping your growth. Number 4, and this goes along with alopecia. Hey, this goes along with alopecia. If the hair is too tight. So, if you have children, this especially goes out to you. I have 2 girls. I love to put their hair in ponytails. I use bubbles in their hair. I use rubber bands in their hair. I also have a son who also has long hair. I utilize a lot of barrettes for my girls. For my son, I typically braid his hair, but I don't braid it tight. We as parents like to make sure that our child's hair is tight and secured. And then if you notice, our child is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old and their hair is not growing. Their hair is like at a standstill and it stays that way for years and years and years, not knowing that you induced this problem. You induced the problem. And it's no different for us as adults. Us as adults, we do also tend to want our hair tighter at the beginning because we want it to last longer, not knowing that you're stunting your growth and you're creating an environment for traction alopecia. Traction alopecia, as you know, is sometimes reversible and sometimes permanent. You can fall in the realm of permanent right at the beginning of that traction alopecia with just the things that you do at home. Tight ponytails, braiding too tight, sew-ins all the time, that kind of thing. Okay? So far I've given you 4 reasons why the hair can stop growing. That's 4. Reason number 5, and this is goes out to stylists and those of you who do chemical services to your hair at home. Over processing, whether it be relaxer, whether it be color, whether it be perms. As we know, a perm typically makes the hair curly. It's like a jerry curl. A relaxer makes the hair straight. Okay, Brazilian blowouts, that kind of thing. If you over process that strand, you have just killed the strand. Once the hair is over processed, there is no coming back from that strand. That strand has to grow out. And that's where people are like, oh yeah, I got a relaxer and my hair just was never the same. It probably was never the same because you didn't know that you can't return from that. Once you over process that strand is dead until that new growth comes out. And the only thing that will be healthy on that strand is the new growth. Yes, it's live. It is. So that is reason number 5. What can you use to grow your hair? There's so many different things that you can use to grow your hair. Just simplistic stuff, having good wash days, using good products. Have tension alopecia. What style do I wear to grow out the spot? You basically have to utilize styles that don't put tension on that area. That's the only way that you can come back from that. You have to stop doing what got you to that point, and that is basically stopping whatever styling you've been doing. What is the longest you can go without a relaxer before you relax your hair again? Typically, you want to make sure that you're staying within the realm of every 6 to 10 weeks. You shouldn't go outside of the 10-week mark because typically when you get to the time of the relaxer, sometimes you end up having that realm of overlapping. The hair starts breaking. The hair feels dry because you've gotten it used to something. And your hair remembers everything you do. And once you fall out of sync or out of schedule, it's going to go back on you. It's going to basically try to fight back to you because it's telling you, okay, well, you told me to do one thing and you haven't done it. So I'm just going to do whatever. What can I do to stop my natural hair from matting when I wash it? It sounds like number 1, you need to get a trim. Number 2, it's how you're washing it. Number 3, how you're detangling it and making sure that you're using a conditioner that is perfect for detangling. That is good for your hair type specifically. If your hair is extremely dense or thick, then you need to be using an extremely dense or thick conditioner. Okay, let's go back to the points of or reasons why your hair could possibly not be growing. Lack of a healthy diet. What you put in is what you get out. You put poisons and toxins in your body, it comes out through your pores. Your follicles are pores, okay? You have openings here. You have openings under your arms. You have openings in your palms. You have openings in your head, at the sole of your feet. You have openings everywhere. And that waste has to come out somewhere, right? So if you are not drinking water, you don't stay hydrated, you drink a lot of soda, you put a lot of sugar in the body. And I am guilty of that. I'm not perfect. I am guilty of drinking a lot of soda. I am guilty of not always being mindful of what I eat and just eating whatever. I'm guilty of that. But at the same time, I work extremely hard on my hair. My diet is one of those things that I have to now put on my list of things to work on. So, a lack of healthy diet can also stunt the growth of your hair. Also, a lack or I'll just say malnutrition. You're not putting nutrients into the body. You're not introducing greens. You're not introducing things like foods that are high in omega 3s, electrolyte water, that kind of thing. I can tell you that there are products out there that you can utilize that will add those omega 3s that the hair typically needs. But you do still have to get this through the things that you put in your body, which is the food, the water, those things. So if you have a lack of a healthy diet, it's going to expel somewhere. I'll read you guys' questions in towards the end, okay? Styling stress. Styling stress is things like braids that are too tight, sew-ins that are too tight, constantly doing your braids. You put them in, you take them out, you put them right back in, you take them out, you put them right back in. You constantly wear wigs, you suffocate the follicle. That's what we call styling stress. Those things can also stunt your hair growth. That doesn't mean all the time, but you have to be mindful that too much of something is not always good. So those things are things that you will definitely have an issue with, especially for those who do not actually give your hair the time or the respect that you gave that weave or that you gave those braids or something like that. So styling stress is another reason why your hair could possibly not be growing, right? Split ends. You guys hear me talk about having a or getting a trim on a regular basis. Natural hair clients should be getting trims every 8 to 12 weeks. Relaxed hair clients should be getting a trim every 6 to 10 weeks with their retouch relaxer. Those typically are just simple things that you can do to fix stunted hair growth. Simply getting a trim. The hair splits from the bottom up and it will go into that good or nice hair or better hair or that new growth, and it will then damage the new growth as well. So split ends is something that can also cause stunting of hair growth. Lack of protein. Lack of protein, not just meaning the food that you put in your body. Remember, the hair is made up of protein, keratin. Keratin is a protein. So if you have a lack of protein, whether it be internally or in the hair, that can also stunt your hair growth. So make sure that you are getting those protein treatments as needed. Make sure that you're following the regimen that your stylist gives you. Make sure that you try to be consistent. And then also make sure that if you are, let's say you're a vegan. Vegans typically, their hair is kind of an issue. And I'll tell you why, because vegans typically have to introduce protein through other sources. We get protein through good meat or meat, period. You get protein through poultry, that kind of thing. But if you are one of those people where you stay away from things like that, you now have to introduce that protein artificially or through fruits and veggies. Typically, fruits and veggies, you can get your protein, but it's not going to be as high as those who eat meats and poultry. I am not against being vegan. I'm just saying, typically, vegans' hair is not the best hair until they try to introduce more proteins and they suffice for the things that their body is lacking that you should typically have introduced. And the last reason why your hair possibly could not be growing is the wrong regimen. The wrong regimen. And a lot of you that I talk to on a daily basis through YouTube, through my Instagram, through email, I always tell you to make sure that you have seen a stylist and you have a regimen down pat. A regimen means consistency. A regimen means that you're sticking to it. You know that at this time, at this time, at this time, at this time, you do this, you do this, you do this, you do this. A regimen is no different for your hair as it would be for your body. You wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth, you get your clothes on, you get something in your body, you go to work. That's a regimen. You should do the exact same thing for your hair. You get this, you get this, you need this, you need this, and the circle goes all around. Circle, 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 circle. Okay? So a regimen is also, or a lack of a regimen or wrong regimen is also a reason why the hair could possibly stop growing. And one reason that I did not mention is medication. Now, I kind of didn't want to mention this reason because medication is not sometimes optional, but that is something that also stunts hair growth sometimes, not all the time, sometimes. And then at the same time, I am not going to tell you, hey, just go ahead and stop taking your medication because you want to have nice, beautiful hair. No, but you can always speak with your physician about an alternative if you see that you are having issues or adverse reactions and it's attacking the hair, right? Okay, so those are some of the reasons why your hair may not be growing. And then let me go back because now I'm going to do some Q&A. So I'm going to go back and look at the questions that you guys were asking. Sorry guys, I left my tripod at work, so I'm improvising. Let's just say I'm improvising. Okay. What can I do to stop my natural hair from matting? I answered that question. I need my 2-year-old's hair to grow mainly around the perimeter. Okay. Your 2-year-old's hair is not something that I will be concerned about right now. Keep in mind your child is 2. The hair changes for children every 5 years, and as they get to the age of about 10, it changes again at puberty, and then at puberty it changes again at their 10-year mark, which is typically when they turn between 18 and 20, and then it changes every decade from there unless something has happened that forced the change. So at the age of 2, I would probably honestly leave your child's hair alone because you're doing nothing but making the problem worse, and you could be stunting their growth before they even get old enough to have hair. At 2 years old, that hair is going to change multiple times. So I wouldn't even worry about trying to grow that hair back. You're worrying about a lost cause. And at the end of the day, that's not something that I would focus on for your 2-year-old. Focus on other things. The hair is going to change. The hair is going to change multiple times, even before you even notice it. And then you could also do something that will end up messing up your 2-year-old's hair. My mom had cancer and had chemo. All of her hair came out, but it came back except for the top of her head. It's short and thin. What can we do to bring the top back like the rest of her hair? So this is another one where it's an unfortunate situation with cancer and chemotherapy. Honestly, that hair has to just do its thing. The body has basically done what it needed to do to rid her of cancer or ridding her of that cancer. But chemotherapy is poison to the body. So it sometimes also works that way and poisons the hair follicle and kills the hair follicle. So the hair comes back in a different form. But you have to kind of just be patient because it's really left in the air until that hair just decides to come back. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, but there's nothing that I can physically recommend that will help you. It's dependent on the body and how your body reacts. So when it comes on to chemotherapy, that's kind of one of those things where you just have to be patient and you just have to nurture the hair that you do have. Definitely speak with your physician about, some hair, skin, and nail vitamins, that kind of thing to help strengthen that hair that is very thin at this point in time. And of course, if she's still doing chemo, then you really just have to wait until all of that is over and she has, gone into her remission and everything is on a better going uphill. Or, yeah, everything's going up, 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 up. I don't want to say that the wrong way. Do you have any advice for hair after menopause? My hair is not as full and is not growing. I stopped perming it and was just wearing braids and wigs. Have a little fro. Okay, so menopause is another one where the body changes. As I was saying, the body changes every decade as you get to the age of about 20, unless something happens in between. Menopause is one of those things where it just does different things to every person. So some people, menopause at the end of the day really is just hormonal control. So if your hormones are out of whack, typically that, targets the hair, it targets the pituitary gland, all of those different things. So with menopause, it's more like you can try a holistic way of treating your hair. Holistic medicine is a little bit different. So unfortunately, I can't really recommend you anything. I definitely think about speaking with a holistic doctor in regards to the menopause because that will help offset why those hormones are out of whack and try to get you back in order without trying to do it through modern medicine. Modern medicine has a lot of adverse reactions, especially on the hair. My hair got thin from wearing weave. What can I do to get it back? Number one, you'd have to stop wearing the weave. It's just, it is the way it is. You have to stop wearing weave. You have to stop doing what got you to this point and give your hair the same respect. So the amounts that you would have spent to get these weaves is the amount that you now need to spend to nurse your hair back to good health. And when I say nurse your hair back to good health, find you a stylist that specializes in hair care that you can see on a 2 to 3 week basis, and you become a solid client and you build a regimen that is made specifically for your hair care. Definitely start taking some hair, skin, and nail vitamins. I'm big on that. If you guys notice, I did not say biotin. I said hair, skin, and nail vitamins. Biotin is just one form of vitamin, but the hair, skin, and nails actually needs a number of vitamins, including the omega-3s, 6. It's omega-3, 6, and 9 that is also lacking: vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin C, vitamin E, vitamin K. Those are the different things that the hair definitely needs. Iron, potassium. Biotin is one, but biotin is a part of the B vitamin family. So you're still lacking some of those other B vitamins. Thank you. So my natural hair reverts quickly with summer humidity. Will Brazilian keratin treatment help? It's going to help, but that's a permanent fix. So what people don't understand with keratin is there's no reversion from keratin. While they tell you that it wears off, it doesn't. It gives you a permanent change to that portion of the hair that it was used on. And then when your new growth comes out, you definitely know the difference. So I wouldn't typically run into the Brazilian or keratin treatments because those are almost permanent. And then you have to retouch them. So you're now just stacking that on to the point where that hair is no longer going to revert. And you're going to be upset because you're only going to have that new growth, which is your great curl pattern. And then your remainder of your hair is going to be straight or sparse or dry, or it all comes with an adverse reaction. I'm not a big fan of the Brazilian keratins and the Brazilian blowouts. How often should I wash my relaxed hair? Every 2 weeks. You definitely should be seeing your stylist every 2 weeks. Please help. Thin edges. Hair is so thin you can see what I'm thinking. I'm sorry to laugh, but you made me laugh. Okay, so you have thin edges. Your hair is so thin you can see. My question to you is, what have you done or have been doing, or what is the history of your hair that got you to thin edges and your hair being so thin you can see through it? A part of me wants to say that you're wearing protective that are not so protective styles. A part of me is saying that you're not giving your hair any respect or showing your hair any respect. And now it has basically reversed and thrown it right in your face and say, you don't respect me, I don't respect you, so I'm going to do what you taught me. Nothing at all. So let me know. Thank you for your sound advice. You're welcome. How do you know if I have moisture overload? If you have moisture overload, your hair is typically extremely oily, or, well, no, it's extremely oily, or every time you put something in it, you notice that it just dissipates. You notice that your hair just soaks it in and becomes heavy. That's typically when you know that you have moisture overload. Another way that you know you have moisture overload is whenever you, let's say you do just a basic style and you notice that your hair frizzes within the instant, that typically means that your cuticle is wide open because you have moisture overload. I have a TWA hairstyle right now. How do I get it to have a curl pattern? I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but your curl pattern is already there. The only thing you can do is put some type of product to define the curl pattern. But if you'd already have it, if your hair's already grown out, your curl pattern's already showing. It's right in your face. So it just depends on your hair type and texture that determines how curly, how coily, that kind of thing. So you probably need to get like a curl definer, but I do a porosity test to determine which one is better for you, whether it be gel-based, water-based, or oil-based. I live in Plano, Texas, cannot locate a stylist. How do you locate one where you are located? And where are you located? I'm in Altamont Springs, Florida. Definitely utilize Instagram to the best of your ability by hashtagging healthy hair, Plano, Texas, hair care stylist. hairstylist, Plano, that kind of thing. Hashtags are you're going to be bae for you. I wear silk bonnet whenever I'm alone to prevent friction damage. Is that a bad idea, keeping my hair covered often? It is not a bad idea to keep your hair covered, especially when you're going to bed. That's a great thing. Silk, of course, is one of those materials that is great for moisture retention and keeping the head from, damaging your style, that kind of thing. But you're not doing anything wrong by keeping it covered up. Now, what I don't agree with is wearing bonnets all damn day. So, yeah. Okay. Okay. I don't know where this little fly came from. Yes, you must keep it covered at night. That's someone giving you some advice. Girl, I wish I was in Orlando where you're at because you're a fabulous hairstylist. Thank you. I reside in the Bay Area. I love the Bay. I come to the Bay once a year. My hair seems like two different textures and it's shorter on one side. That's normal. Sometimes you can have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different textures depending on what part of the hair you mess with the most. Hey, Octavia. Naya says, I am a fan because you're about healthy hair care. Thank you. What hair, skin, and nail vitamin brand should I purchase? It's really up to you. I've heard good things about Hairfinity. I've heard good things about even the ones that they sell inside of Sam's Clubs and BJ's. It really doesn't matter the line. What you want to look at is the actual nutrition label to see, what levels you're getting. Typically, inside of a hair, skin, and nail vitamin, your biotin level needs to be 5,000 or more. You want to make sure that it contains iron, omega fatty acids like omega-3, omega-6, omega-9, vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin C, vitamin E, vitamin K. Just your base. It's almost like a multivitamin, but the levels are different only because it's for hair. Meds and a ponytail. So today, Swole, your issue might be your medications. You need to talk to your physician and also go and Google your medications. The worst thing you can do as a person is take medication and not know what the side effects are of that medicine, what they do. So I definitely recommend Googling those medications. And when you're Googling them, you'll put the medication name and put hair loss, hair thinning, and you'll see if the different studies pop up that there are reports or cases of that. And that'll kind of give you an idea of what to talk to your physician about. How should you care for your hair after a protective style? Pay respect to your hair and give your hair the same respect that you gave that protective style that is not so protective. So if you had that protective style that's not so protective in for 6 weeks, you need to give your hair now that same respect and 6 weeks out. I have been natural for about 3 years, but it's breaking every time I comb, wash, or put my hands in my hair. Am I doing something wrong? You're not doing anything wrong. You're just lacking in protein. So I highly suggest you get with a stylist and start a protein treatment regimen, and then you'll moisturize in between. My hair is relaxed and I live in Florida and it's very humid. My hair frizzes. Help. I live in Florida. Florida's humidity is beyond. So there's no real fix to this. I'll tell you this right now. The only thing you can do is be consistent in your hair care and make sure that you're not moisturizing too much because the cuticle might be wide open. So how you close the cuticle is using cold water rinses with your conditioner and making sure that you're staying away from a lot of heat. That will also keep the cuticle wide open. But unfortunately, baby, we live in Florida, so that doesn't happen. Even I'm frizzy and I have a relaxer. What is the best products to use to define your curl pattern? It really depends on the client or the person. That's you. And it is a trial and error situation. As I always say, I'm all in for holistic and natural hair care products. And I do like the flaxseed recipe, but it doesn't last very long because it is a natural recipe. But I feel like it is really good for the hair. Hey, Yolanda. Thank you guys. I appreciate all you guys' love and support. Okay, what can I do to thicken my hair? I've tried everything. I'm natural, but my hair is so thin. So what you call thin, or what do you call thin, Yolanda? So here's the thing. I have fine textured hair, right? Fine textured hair. I can typically see my scalp whenever my hair is washed, and that's just what I have. So hair texture comes in fine, medium/normal, or coarse. You always want to look at your hair, and if you look at your hair and your hair is like fine textured, you're gonna assume that your hair is damaged or thin, when technically it's not damaged or thin. Your hair typically, if it was coarse, would be extremely thick, but you were just given thin hair. Hi, love your style. Just tuned in. Hopefully you haven't covered this already. Can you recommend a temp rinse? What is a temp rinse? I don't know what a temp rinse is. I'm natural. My hair is so dry. It drinks up moisture. What can I do? I definitely do a porosity test to see what your hair porosity is, and it will tell you exactly what you need. Typically, if it drinks up the moisture, that means that you are, is it low porosity? No, I think it's high porosity. But I do a porosity test first, and then you start looking for products that are catered to your porosity. Most times, if it's drinking up the moisture, then that means that you do not need any more moisture, and you probably need to be strengthening because those bonds and that cuticle is wide open. Hello, I see over you. What can I use to thicken my hair? It depends on, actually, because you're right. Let me say this right. With age, sometimes comes thinning, but you probably want to just check to make sure that it's not like female pattern baldness, or it's not just genetics and that's fighting against you right now. Hello, just logged in. My hair is thinning in the crown of my head and my edges are almost non-existent. Is there anything you can recommend to help my hair grow back? I relax my hair twice a year. Okay, so number one, let's tackle part one. My hair is thinning in the crown of my head and my edges are almost non-existent. Okay, so if your hair is thinning in your crown and then your edges are almost non-existent, it sounds like you're probably doing some protective that are not so protective styles. That's what it sounds like, number one. Number two, it sounds like you could be with a form of alopecia, but I can't diagnose that, so you'd have to see a dermatologist for that. And then I'll wait to see if you tell me what kind of styles you wear, and that'll kind of put me in another direction to help you. Medium textured hair. So if you have medium textured hair, do you typically, are you one of those that wears protective that are not so protective styles on a constant basis? Yolanda? I love how you are. I tried to order the product it want to. My hair loss its volume and ends are frayed, and some parts are relaxed, other parts are natural, and it's breaking. When I use silicone, it smooths my hair out. Please help. Number one, you need to go and get a corrective or restorative relaxer. The hair does not like to be in between, partly relaxed, partly natural. That doesn't go together. You have to be one or the other. That's typically why people who are transitioning, the relaxer hair died or the relaxed hair dies. So you have to choose which direction you want to go. If you're going to transition, then you transition. If you're going to be relaxed, then you need to be relaxed. So you definitely need to equal that part out. Number two, it's breaking. It's probably breaking because your hair is confused and it's doing exactly what you taught it. Can you do anything to make my hair thick? Because back of my hair is thick, but front is fine. I was about with fine and have no idea which. The back is thick. Okay. Most, can you retype that question? I'm not understanding it. Cynthia, you wear braids. Let's see here. Okay, so that's the culprit. It's one of those things where braids and weaves and all that stuff can give you long hair, but it doesn't give you full hair. It doesn't give you thick hair. It takes away the density. So if you wear a lot of braids, your only kind of defense now is to reverse and stop wearing the braids as much until your hair fills out. And you'll see a major difference, but it's not going to happen with the hair that's already out. It's only going to happen with the new growth. Unfortunately, what you do to the hair that's already out is almost permanent. My hair grows half an inch a month, which is standard. How can I increase my hair growth rate? You can't increase your hair growth rate. That's just the way your hair grows. That's you. That's what God gave you. The only thing you can do is make sure that you're strengthening that hair that's coming out. I wear straw sets. Is that a good protective style? It's okay, but it also is a good way to mat the hair really, really quickly. And that those kind of styles typically are ones that will take more detangling than others, which too much detangling or um, excessive detangling sometimes can also break the hair. How to regrow your edges back. Consistency and some extra strength goddess hair repair serum. And then whatever you're doing to your hairline now, you need to stop. Most of the time I have braids. I might get it flat ironed 3 times a year. So you're also going to fall in the realm of, guess what? Your protective style that's not so protective. It's what is working against you. So no texlaxing. Texlaxing is okay, but you still have to keep up with it. Texlaxing is like a texturizer. And what people don't get with texlaxing and texturizers and all that is they still have to be retouched, but you're not supposed to touch the hair that's already texlaxed or texturized. It's a good way of doing it, but it keeps the volume, but you also have to make sure you're getting it done the right way. What do you recommend for combing out and styling kids with extremely thick and coarse hair? I use children's shampoo and conditioner. You just have to do it more often than most. And with my daughters, they have thicker hair, but I do like pass the iron over it just literally very quickly one time just to help it be a little more manageable. But I don't want to lose their curl pattern, but it does help to thin it out slightly, very, very slight. Okay, your answer was up for you to do my hair, but you're in NY. I came to NY earlier in June for a pop-up. How do you feel about one that is so frustrated you just take clippers and shave it all off? Will it come back? It will come back, but that is not a good way to try to regrow your hair unless that's just the way you want to do it. I don't agree with that shave it off to grow it back thing. Okay, thank you. I'm growing locks and I have not washed my hair in a month. Is that a bad thing? No, with locks, that's actually acceptable. The hair needs to be tangly and matty, and once it locks, then you can do a detox. I love your channel and your advice. Thank you. Do you know any stylists in Atlanta? There's one that I follow. Her name is The Hair Magician. I really like her stuff. My hair is natural. I was born with fine hair, but along the way, the back of my hair got thick, but the front is still fine. I have no idea why or how. What can I do to make my hair thick? Let me read this question again to make sure I'm understanding. I was born with fine hair got thick. So it sounds like you just have two different hair textures and that's just what God gave you. But at the same time, almost, if you are doing a lot of protective styles and you have leave out and all that stuff, that's going to be the weakest link. So that's also going to be the finest part of your head. Thank you so much. I've been using peppermint oil and castor oil like crazy, but I'm content with what God gave me. You're welcome. Be careful with the peppermint oil though. It's also very drying and the hair doesn't like that over time. I have a question. So I noticed my hair no longer likes being wrapped even if I wrap the opposite direction. Can you give a suggestion for nighttime rather than a ponytail? It sounds like you probably need your relaxer. It sounds like you're probably at the point where your hair needs to be relaxed, washed, and roller set. But if you're right 2 weeks out, it's not gonna wrap. That means it's really dirty. So it's kind of either dirty, it probably needs to be relaxed. It could be a number of reasons why it won't hold the wrap. Have ever had a client who suffers from eczema, and what do you use to protect the scalp? And do you know any products to use? My children had eczema. Well, my youngest daughter had eczema, but she no longer does. It depends on the severity of the eczema, and it depends on what your physician says. Sometimes it's so severe that you need like a medicated shampoo. But with eczema, you kind of have to be careful. A lot of oil is not good because number one, eczema really comes from overproduction of sebum. So sebum is like oil, and then it becomes a form of eczema or dandruff. One or the two, they're kind of in the same family. So you have to be careful what you're putting on there. But I definitely talk to your dermatologist about it first and let them culture it. Hi, St. Martin. I don't do any protective style. It's naturally curly. Oh, okay. My hair no longer hurts, curls like a roller set very long. The only way to keep it long holding curl is with straw sets. Any suggestions? It depends on the length of your hair. And here's the thing, guys. I'm not into long-term styles. Long-term styles are actually not good. You don't want something that like everybody wants, like that easy styling. It's not that simple. Your teeth don't even have easy styling and easy care. You have to brush your teeth every day. So just make sure that you're taking better care of your hair. But if you're doing a lot of these sets and stuff, straw sets are cool if you want them to last you for 9 months, but I don't recommend them. When I wrap my hair, I change the direction. I wrap to the left one night and then to the right the next night, because if not, one side will become slightly wavy. Yes, but you're also confusing your hair, so your hair doesn't know what you want it to do, whether you want it to go one direction or the other. A wrap is training your hair to do exactly what it is, but if you keep changing the direction, you're very confusing and you're confusing your hair. Since I wear braids a lot and I get my hair relaxed about twice a year, do you recommend that I stop with the braids altogether? Um, Honestly, if you're going to be getting braids, then why are you getting a relaxer? You're really just weakening the hair that you have. And twice a year, I would never. Twice a year is really confusing your head. That means that you get so much new growth that you're now doing almost a full relaxer the next time you do it. I wouldn't do that. So either you're going to be fully relaxed and not wear the braids, or you're going to wear the braids and just stop doing the relaxer. Although my edges are very thin, my hair is uneven. If I go natural and cut it, will that help? Um, your edges are probably thin because of what you're doing to it, but cutting it and going natural isn't going to help. You probably just need to go and get some corrective cutting and some treatments and stuff like that. But I'd see a stylist in your area first. I've been natural approximately 6 years. I only did twist outs and braids. My type 4 hair wouldn't retain any length. However, I started embracing the wash and go last year. Now my hair is flourishing. Hey, that's great for you. That's awesome. When I used to wrap my hair in the same direction, my head would hurt, like my scalp would be sore. Your scalp shouldn't be sore with a wrap. It might be what you're using to wrap it. Do we need to wear a scarf and bonnet at night? It's great to protect the hair. I wear a scarf every night, but I don't do both. You can just do one or the other. I don't like bonnets. Bonnets hurt. I'm not gonna go that deep. I don't like bonnets. I wear scarves. All right, guys. Whew. I answered a good amount of questions tonight. So, how often should I wash my hair? I wash once a week and sometimes twice during the summer because of the sweat from the summer heat. If you're working out, you can do it every week. If not, I definitely do it once every 2 weeks. Typically, every 2 weeks is good. Okay, so you guys got 10 reasons why your hair might not be growing. Well, actually, I gave you 11 reasons. But those things are definitely things to look out for. Those are definitely things that once you reverse, it'll definitely help you going forward. So just, I more say, number one, make sure you have a regimen for your hair care. Number two, be mindful that if you have a protective style for quite some time, you need to pay your hair the same respect. Don't keep your hair too tight. No over processing. So you definitely should be seeing a stylist that knows what they're doing. Be mindful of the amount of heat that you put in your hair. Make sure that you are eating a healthy diet and drinking a lot of water. Make sure that you are getting those ends trimmed on schedule, and make sure that you are oiling your scalp. Do you have any tips for those of us with locks when trying to keep it hydrated? Oils are great for those with locks. Specifically, I like the growth elixir because it's very thick. People who have locks, you tend to need heavier oil, so I definitely utilize the growth elixir. I do good with a satin scarf to avoid scarves because they always come off my head. Okay, well, Mimose, that's great for you if you like to use a satin pillowcase. It's really by choice. Mine doesn't come off, but everyone's different. trying to order your products tonight from yesterday's live show. Okay, so with that being said, I am having a flash sale where instead of me doing a 30% off one product, it's 30% off across the board on the site by utilizing code hair repair. So it's 30% off of everything until 11:59 p.m. But I'm gonna extend it until in the morning because I'm too tired to go and turn it off. So you have until the morning to order whatever it is you need to order. The code is hair repair. One word, hair repair, and that gives you 30% off of all of the products that are on my site, including the extra strength Goddess hair repair serum, which is great for alopecia. It's great for regrowing your hairline. It's great for moisture repair, strengthening, that kind of thing. The website is elitehaircareusa.com. EliteHairCareUSA.com. It's just like my YouTube handle, EliteHairCareUSA.com. And the code is hair repair. I'll put it in the description box after I'm finished with the live. What are good for my edges to grow back? Katina, I definitely try our extra strength Goddess hair repair serum. Does stress cause breakage? It definitely does. Stress actually is sickening and poisoning to the body. A lock's a bad idea for thinning hair. It can be because sometimes they become very heavy and they put more tension on the strand. So the website once again is elitehaircareusa.com. Do you ever have clients who do not want their ends trimmed with their relaxer? Yes, but I don't give that option. I'm hair care, hair care, hair care. So my clients know that the trim is automatic, but I know the difference between a trim and a cut. I would never give them a cut. A trim is just dusting of the ends. Have you ever used Philip B products? I do not know who Philip B is. Thank you so much for the great information. You guys are so welcome. What is good for alopecia patients? It depends on the type of alopecia. If it's not scarred, you can utilize our extra strength Goddess hair repair serum or our regular strength Goddess hair repair serum. And then for those of you who are not into CBD, because both of those products contain CBD, then you can utilize our growth elixir. Thank you today, Swell. I appreciate that. So yes, guys, definitely it's 143 people on this live. So if everyone can give me a thumbs up, that would be awesome. Do you charge for the trim after the relaxer? Nope, it's all inclusive with my relaxer price. How to stop hair breakage, a strengthening treatment, but you need to see a stylist. Hi, Africa. All right, guys. So I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm about to actually go and lay it down. But like I said, just a quick reminder, the flash sale is going on right now. 30% off everything on my site. 30% off, not up to. Everything is 30% off. Utilize code hair repair, HAIRREPAIR. That code will give you the 30% off, okay? For those of you who might be international that want to get my products, please send me an email. You cannot order on my site unless you are in Canada because I have to actually send you an invoice. That site does not support international orders outside of Canada. So for those of you who are international, definitely send me a message and I'll get you taken care of. Scarring alopecia is basically there's not really a fix for that. You typically have to get hair transplants at that point. Okay. Well, you're about to get removed and blocked anyway. Hide that user from my channel. Okay, there you go. So I don't have time for all of the foolishness. Thank you, guys. So the website, like I said, is Elite Hair Care USA. Once again, EliteHairCareUSA.com. The coupon code for the 30% off sale is hair repair. That's 30% off. You'll probably have until tomorrow morning for you to get everything. Don't worry, I block people. I don't even address. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and please give me a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. I try to come on every day, if not every other day. and we will go from there. And definitely, if I didn't get to your question, you can leave it in the comments, and I'll go through. I usually do comments up to 24 hours after my video, so you can put your questions in the comments, and I will try to do my best and answer them. Cool? All right, guys, good night, and everybody have a great work day. Don't worry, I'm going to save this live so you guys can watch it in the replay. The code is hair repair, HAIRREPAIR, and the website is elitehaircareusa.com. All right, guys, peace and love. Good night.